Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the new format for OSU Roundup, down to a 30-minute show featuring baseball, softball, and some of the other spring sports. And we're excited to get right into it today. We've got Coach Holliday with us, Coach Gajewski in just a little bit. And, Coach, a little bit tired, long weekend, but, boy, you guys have been playing well and fought through a really good weekend this past weekend.
Well, it's good to get out where the weather was warm and get to a great baseball city in Los Angeles. And it was a fun tournament. We saw 3 different teams, 3 different venues, and 3 really unique games in how each game played out. So it was a good experience for us to win 2 of the 3 games and come back feeling good about ourselves. Certainly what we hope to do, and we had a number of guys really show up this weekend.
You know, before we get into that, I want to go back one step further since our last show, that midweek with Wichita State. Coach, it all started obviously with a great moment. Gary Ward, Gene Stevenson exchanging lineup cards, which included their best players, I guess, their all-star lineup from their years. Now, Gene cheated a little bit, but that was a great moment.
That was fun. It was a great idea by our staff. I think Kevin Fite and his crew, who've worked so hard to make the final year of Reynolds Stadium something we can all celebrate and remember. To get Coach Ward, who's living back here in Stillwater, and Coach Stevenson, who's retired now in Wichita, to get those guys together was a great idea. The lineup cards that you mentioned, if you had a chance to look at those, it was pretty unbelievable. And if you haven't, I'd encourage you to do so. The number of great players at those 2 programs during the time in which Coach Stevenson and Coach Ward built Wichita State and Oklahoma State baseball is really phenomenal. And to see those names on one sheet of paper, to see 2 college baseball coaches that are probably on the Mount Rushmore of college coaches. That was neat to celebrate history and give those gentlemen the proper respect they deserve, was something that is very healthy for us and something that we would look forward to doing more in the future.
Well, and the fun part about it, too, is you got the W. That's big. And, you told Dave last week, you said he asked you about Colin Simpson's numbers, and you said, if there's anybody I'm not worried about because of their work ethic and their attitude, it's Colin Simpson. And obviously that paid off for him in the Wichita State game.
Well, it did, and it continued on through the weekend. I mean, Colin's just a special kid. I can't tell people how unique of an individual he is, what a treat to coach he is, incredible parents that he has. I mean, just the whole experience of him being here, coaching him, working with him, watching him grow up, and then seeing how he handles some adversity. He keeps a smile on his face. His work ethic never wavered. In fact, it only went up. And you just knew it was just a matter of time before he was going to break out. And the Wichita State game provided that launching point for the season for him to kind of get going with the power swing, and it continued all the way through the weekend.
4 multi-run innings in that game. I mean, obviously you love that, scoring in clumps, and you guys really went out and controlled the game and found a way to win it.
We did. It was a different type of game. We've pitched so well, and that was one of the nights where there was a little bit of a back and forth to the ball game, so we needed to keep scoring. You know, it was one of those games where to win it, you might have to go get 9 or 10 runs, and we were able to do that. So good team win, no doubt, on Wednesday. We got a number of guys to the mound, which was important to us, and gave us a chance to go into the weekend with a rested bullpen and pitch each one of those weekend games, we thought, with a really good plan. I thought Coach Wall did a tremendous job of mapping out a 4-game week and giving us a great opportunity each time we went out.
Talk about the first one out in L.A., Coach. You guys beat USC 11-6, down 6-0 after 2. Responded with a 7-run third and 7 scoreless innings. Now that's an answer.
Well, it was an amazing answer. We didn't get off to a good start. We were a little bit out of sorts, and Mitch didn't have his best command. And next thing you know, you're down 6-0. We're facing an All-American pitcher in Kyle Hurt, who the first 2 innings mowed us down. 3rd inning, we scrap and claw. We get some guys on. We get a big 2-out double down the line by Bryce Carter, a play that the USC pitcher got tangled up with an umpire, got ejected. Next thing you know, all the momentum shifted back our direction, and we ended up with 7 runs that inning. And really the story of that game after that 7-run inning was Peyton Battenfield. He went 7 shutout innings and pitched about as good as I've seen, well, certainly ever out of him, but just really in general, you couldn't hope for a better outing from a pitcher. Tons of strikes, all 4 pitches, great game face, handled himself at a very high level. It was just really fun to watch.
Cowboys got the win, and from there, obviously, trying to get, even though it's 3 different opponents, trying to get what's equivalent to a series win or a series sweep. We'll talk about the next 2 out in L.A. after our first time out.
The OSU Roundup is brought to you by Bud Light, game day's favorite light lager. By the Visit StillwaterOK.org Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.
Hi, I'm Coach Gundy with Oklahoma State University. With approximately 900 Oklahomans waiting for a life-saving transplant, I encourage everyone across the state to make the important decision to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. So check your driver's license for the Little Red Heart. If it's not there, visit lifeshareok.org and join the registry today. I have the Little Red Heart. Do you?
Out there playing at 35.
Slowly hit by Merle to third.
You're not going to get him.
Over to first, not in time. Here comes a run home to throw to the plate. He is safe, safe. Walk-off winner for the Cowboys. Navigado comes home, and Oklahoma State wins it 5-4.
Welcome back. Talking to Coach Josh Holliday, head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboy baseball team. And Coach, you know, again, this was a fantastic opportunity. You talked about 3 different venues, 3 very good opponents, and you guys really you put this thing together. And to me, this is as much fun as it is business because of just even the nature of the opponents and where you got to play.
Well, Friday night at Dado Field, obviously on USC's campus, that's a neat campus. If you've never been there, it's got a unique setting as it rests fairly close to downtown Los Angeles. For so many of our players, they've heard of USC, but maybe have never been out there. So that was a neat venue, neat environment. Day 2 at Jackie Robinson Stadium. I mean, my gosh, what more iconic figure in American history and certainly in the game of baseball and athletics than Jackie Robinson. So to go to UCLA and play in a very classy, nice venue, a historic place against the current number 2 team in the country, I thought was a great opportunity. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. Loved the matchup. We had Jensen Elliott on the mound and got off to a 3-1 lead. Good baseball early on. They tied it up in the middle innings. And then we just weren't able to really do much with their bullpen late, and they get out of there with a win. So we were frustrated Saturday as a team. Nobody left there the least bit okay with that result. We felt like we went there to win a game, and we let one slip away.
And for you guys this weekend, Southeast Louisiana, and another 3-game series coming up.
Well, hopefully the weather will allow it to just be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's important for us to get into a rhythm with this being the final weekend before conference play.
Yeah, it'll be here before we know it. It is amazing for sure. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out how things are transpiring for Cowboy football. It is spring football season, and a little later we'll be joined by Coach Kenny Gajewski. We'll talk some softball as well as we continue with the OSU Roundup.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Welcome back to the OSU Roundup. Well, of course, it is time for spring football. The Cowboys already back on the gridiron. And to get us caught up on what's happened so far, let's check in with Allison Gappa.
Cowboy football started spring practice here at the Sherman E. Smith Training Center on Monday. Here's Coach Gundy, OSU players and the coordinators after the first practice back for spring ball.
All the work they've put in, not only with winter conditioning, but in the classroom and just everything they've done, they've been first class. So I'm very proud of the guys, and coaching staff's worked hard to come up with our philosophies and schemes, and so we'll figure out a lot more about who we are right now. We'll know a lot more in a month, but we've had a great off season, and we've got a number of guys that are out there for the first time getting some quality reps, and we're playing fast and like always, run the same plays we run on offense, same schemes on defense. So from that standpoint, there won't be anything that's different. It'll just be a few different guys out there that'll be executing. But we're excited about it and looking forward to the rest of spring.
How's it been so far, Sean?
Fantastic. Fantastic for a New Jersey boy. Very welcoming, very encouraged about the way these kids work. You know, you kind of don't really know until you get in a place. And incredibly encouraged at the way Coach Glass wires these kids in the wintertime and then how they run around here at practice. I'm very happy with it.
I think one of your former coaches, somebody you know, said along the way that you've been talked to about other jobs, but that this one was different. What was it about this that was different?
Yeah, well, first, Coach Gundy. I mean, you evaluate, and I'm not in an evaluation position. I'm in do a good job for the head man position. But you know, when you look at some of these jobs and some of these coaches around the country, he stands out above the rest. He's been here for a ton of time. He's dedicated to this place. His style of play on offense suits the way that I like to coach kids, and I think if there's one thing that's non-negotiable about me, it's going to be no huddle, and that's a good match for this place. My family's been out for a little bit, and they enjoyed it. They loved it. The community here, I think the people, you know, everyone says and pays lip service to the type of people that are at a place, but when you get here, it's really striking. People go above and beyond to invite you in and teach you about what they love about this place. So I'm excited to be here. I can't wait. You know, I was like a kid in a candy shop today, so I can't wait to get more of these guys and get some more practices under our belt.
I think we can be dynamic with Brock Martin and Mike Scott, you know, kind of taking over for Jordan. I think those two guys together will be dynamic, and a lot of good young players coming up inside, but they're going to have to prove themselves. You know, I'm most excited about our secondary. You know, we played a lot of young guys there last year, and you know, school of hard knocks. They had some tough experiences, but they're gonna be light years better, and we got two great corners in my opinion. I think when you have two great corners, you got a shot. And Lely and AJ, I think, are going to be some of the best in the league and in the country. And when you can play two guys like that, we got a chance to be good in the secondary.
22 corners and safeties. Man, that makes those position drills really competitive.
Yeah, it does. And you know, and they run a lot, and they run all day. And in this league, you know, you got to have depth there, and you know, that's where we're strong. We got to play to that. We got to play to that.
Can you see yourself having a little bit of a hockey shift change approach to, okay, they run a couple of verticals, let's get some new fresh legs in?
Absolutely. You know, our depth in the secondary is now where we can keep guys fresh. You're always trying to do that up front because you don't usually have that depth in the secondary. I think we have it this year. We'll be able to play a lot of guys all game long.
Honestly, I just feel like really, as a whole, as a receiver, I feel like the intensity is a lot higher than it was last year. I feel like we're coming out, we're real excited to be out here and make plays, so I feel like that's one big thing, that's a big difference.
The most, you know, just kind of like last year, everyone's talking about, oh, running backs are so great and stuff. We want the same talk this year, so we got a lot to work on, but yeah, we're heading in the right direction.
Thanks, Allison. We will turn our attention to softball coming up next. We've got Kenny Gajewski coming up on the show after the break. Welcome back to the OSU Roundup. Casey Kendrick now joined by the head coach for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls softball team, Kenny Gajewski, winners of 8 straight, including 4 since the last time we had a chance to talk to you. And Coach, you guys are on a heck of a roll right now.
Well, we're starting to play well, and you know, it's been fun to watch this team grow. We still got a long way to go, but when you're winning games and not playing your best, that's a sign, I think, of good things to come. You know, and you've continually had that conversation. We've talked a lot about it. Let's jump into the week that was. It started with Wichita State, Coach, and you know, this is a game that, on the outside looking in, you go, well, it's Wichita State. It's a good win, I guess. You know, I guess it's a good win. But on the inside, this is a program barometer type of game. These are some of the games that have frustrated you guys as a program, but you've talked about taking the next step. This was the next step, beating this team. Yeah, I think for us, just knowing, you know, from last year, we got beat 4 times by those guys, and like I told our team all week long, it's not about the wins and the losses at this point. It's about how you play and how you got beat this past year, and we just didn't play our best. And so I said, just focus on playing our best games. And I thought we played a very nice game, pitched well, gave up no runs, had enough timely hitting, and played solid D. And that's what it's all about. And, you know, if you want to be a program that's going to host in the postseason, you have to win these games.
You know, we've talked about pitching a lot, and I know it wasn't to your expectation completely against Oregon, but in this game, Gabby came in, pitched really well, and something we're starting to see a lot of is Shao either starting or Shao getting the save.
But what we wanted to do is we wanted to throw the whole staff, or throw at least 3 of our kids, get them all work, just keep them sharp, and we were able to do that. Brought Gabby in a tight game, which she hadn't been in a lot of those yet. She threw extremely well. It was good to watch that. So, you know, it's going to take all of us to be very good, and we've got to have those kids pitch, and that's what it's all about.
Got to get enough offense behind that, and you did in this one. Cheyenne Factor had another home run, 2 RBI home run. Bayless had a home run. So you're starting to see, again, the offense come in different ways, but you guys have no shortage of power.
Well, we knew that. We knew we were going to hit some home runs. We're still throwing a lot of at-bats away. I think that's part of our youth with some of our young kids. We're playing, you know, 3 or 4 freshmen at any time and some sophomores at any time. So we've got a unique team. We've got some older kids and a lot of younger kids, and they're all kind of playing. So, but Shy Factor is really coming into her own. We knew she was going to be very good, and she's starting to be a force.
Go to Oregon, Eugene, Oregon. This is a program, coach, that has been phenomenal the last several years. And they come in a top 25 team. You guys go into there as a top 25 team. And you look at this matchup, you knew it was going to be tough. And your kids, again, 3-0 win in that first one. Overcame a couple of errors in that ball game, and just a really steady win for you.
Well, you know, anytime you can go on the road in a Power 5 conference and sweep a team, top 25 team in their home. It was their home opening games, which, you know, they're excited for. Crowd was pretty good. Newer stadium, cold, but anytime you can go in there and win the first game, it's a big deal, and we did that. We displayed some power there as well. Shao pitched really well. She's just an animal. She just loves to play, loves to compete, and she sets the tone for our team. 6
LOBs for Oregon in this game. Shy had another 2-run and home run, or had a couple RBIs and a home run, and just a good win to set the weekend for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, they would be looking for a series win and potentially a series sweep. Did they get it done? My 8-game win streak probably gave that away. We'll take a look at that and more right after this. Final time here on the OSU Roundup, talking to Coach Kenny Gajewski, head coach of the Cowgirl softball team. And Coach, you guys do get the first win in Eugene, and you knew, you know, it was a cold day in the 30s on that first day, mid-40s the second day. You guys spent a long time at the ballpark on Saturday.
We did, and I knew it was going to be a grind. I didn't know it was going to be quite this type of a grind. We, for the first time really this year, we didn't pitch well. We just had too many walks and too many deep counts and threw way too many pitches for what Coach Jeff Cottrell wants. And I felt his frustration all game long. But it was good to see our offense finally step up and score runs. And we left a ton of runners on base, but we had some better at-bats. We had some at-bats that were taken away. We gave some away, but we truly had some great at-bats and had some good performances.
7-6 win in Game 2 gave you the series win. A 9-6 win in Game 3 gave you the sweep. And Coach, in this one, again, it went back and forth a little bit early, but you guys had a 6-run third, so you did have a little bit of a cushion in that one, even though that one still turned out to be a grind.
Yeah, we just, like I said, when we were done, we sat back in there. In the dugout there, I was emotionally beat, spent. I think our staff was trying to mix and match, and we were making changes like crazy. My scorecard was a mess, trying to get kids in and out. And but you know, the bottom line, Casey, is winning games. And when you can do it on the road in a tough environment against a top 25 school, we'll take it, we'll learn, we'll coach them up, and we'll get ready for the next week.
Lynch went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Pennington 2 for 4, a couple of RBIs, another win for Shao. And before we let you get out of here, you've never been short on being honest about what your team is. Is it young? Is it really good? Is it a championship caliber team? Now having seen 23 games, what is this team?
Yeah, this team is really good. This team is this is a deep postseason team. How deep they can go, I don't know that, but they're capable of a super regional, super regional, And when you get to that point, if you can get to that point, anything is a go. And so we are who I thought we were, and I just can't wait for us to play well. That's the bottom line.
It's going to be fun to see, and we're just getting started. It's exciting. This weekend on to Oxford, Mississippi. Have a great time down there. Appreciate the time this week.
Thank you.
Hey, that's going to do it for us this week. We want to say thanks to Josh Holliday for being here. We want to say thanks to Coach Gajewski for being here. And certainly we appreciate you guys tuning in as well. For those guys, I'm Casey Kendrick. See you next time on the OSU Roundup.
The OSU Roundup is brought to you by Bud Light, game day's favorite light lager. By the visitstillwaterok.org Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.